Hello, good morning. This is my part 2 of grammar series in English, and today we are looking at the present continuous. So, what is the present continuous? In Italian, you would say gerundio, and it's usually a continuous action that's happening in the present. We use it a lot in English, and the main use of the present continuous is talking about an action that is happening now. Something which is happening now. So if you see the word now, you know, or at the moment, if you see the word now or you see at the moment, you are going to use the present continuous if you see now or at the moment, because it's something you're doing now. It's a continual action in the present. So I can say, I am speaking now. And we use it, the auxiliary verb with the present continuous is the verb to be. The verb to be, verbo essere, is the auxiliary, so it's the verb that helps the main verb, whatever verb you're using. So in this case, speak, I'm using the verb speak, and I'm saying I am. Am is the verb to be. I am, you are, he, she, it is, and this will be the verb, the verb, auxiliary verb that you will use with the present continuous. So if I give an example, I am speaking, you are speaking, or you are listening, hopefully. He, she, it is speaking or listening. We are speaking or we are doing something. You are speaking, you plural, and they are speaking. Okay? So that's how it's formed, and it's basically subject, auxiliary with the verb to be, and then verb plus ing, ing. So it's when you're doing something, and you're usually doing it now or in the moment. Present continuous can also be used for the future, talking about future plans or action, things you're going to do in the future. But today we're just looking at it in the present. So talking about what we're doing now, at the moment, and how it's formed. Okay? So because we use the verb to be as the auxiliary, in the negative or the question formation of the present continuous, it will use the verb to be, not do or don't. So it will be using is or are or am, for example, in a question, and in a negative phrase, it will say I am not, or you aren't, or he, she, it isn't in a negative phrase. Okay, so I will give you some examples. In a question, are you listening? I could ask you that now. Are you listening? So are is the auxiliary with the verb to be, because it's are, and then you is the subject. Listen is the verb, the main verb, and ing, which shows us that it's the present continuous with the verb to be. So are you listening? I'm asking you a question. Are you listening? Are you listening? And you would answer me, yes, I am. If it's a positive, and if you're not, which I hope you are, you would say, no, I'm not. Okay, so in the when you use the subject pronoun I, you don't say I'm. You don't abbreviate it in English. It doesn't work. We don't say that. So you'd say I am not. Okay, you wouldn't say I am. We don't say that, but you will abbreviate you aren't. So you are not would be the full, but you can also abbreviate it. Say you aren't. He, she, it isn't, or is not. So you could abbreviate it to she, he, she, it isn't, etc. That is a negative phrase. Okay. If I'm asking you a question, if I'm asking you a question and if I'm saying you are, say you are listening, and I say you are listening, you know, this is a statement, this is a phrase, a statement, a positive statement. So I say you are listening. If I make a question, I just invert you and are. So are you listening? Instead of you are you? The verb to be, the auxiliary verb are in this case, because it's you, referring to you, would come first, and then the subject you would come second, and the verb, the main verb listen, with the ing attached to it, would come third, and then a question mark. So are you listening would be my question. If I can see that you're not listening, I would say you aren't listening. So I know you're not listening, I would say you aren't listening, and it would be you comes first. So the subject comes first, like in a positive phrase, but then you have the negative, are not or aren't listening, with listen, the main verb, and ing attached to the end. And that is basically how it is formed. In the present continuous, we use it when we're doing something now, at the moment. So a lot of phrases you will see, they will say, at the moment I am speaking, or at the moment I am eating, or you don't even need to say at the moment. If someone phones you and says, what are you doing? That could be a question which you could answer. A very common question in the present continuous, what, so WH word, what are. The auxiliary comes first, you, the subject, comes second, and the main verb do in this case with the added ing. What are you doing? And you could, whatever you're doing, you can answer them. I am eating, or I am working, or I am sleeping. Or if they ask you the question, are you working? You could say, yes, I am. No, I'm not. Or you could say, I am working, or no, I'm not working. So that is a brief as possible description of how the present continuous works when we're talking about the present, what we're doing now at the moment. So we can also use it to talk about the future, but I will put that in another video. So I hope that helps. If that's clear, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in part 3.